Seen those commercials where it's about food? Yeah, I'm the target audience. They've been advertising the shit out of the McRib, and every time somebody says McRib, make sure to jab them in the ribs. Had that. I feel like shit, but it tasted all right in the moment. What's going on? If this is your first time tuning into the stream, my name is The Schiller. We talk about NFTs, Web3, all that good stuff, but let's get into it. It's not Web3 related, but do you remember Age of Mythology? Randomly popped up on my For You page today on X. Imagine if Age of Mythology comes back as Web3 game. That'd be decent, dude. Okay, yesterday there was an unauthorized access to a few of my personal XRP accounts. What the hell is this? Not Ripple. We were quickly able to catch the problem and notify exchanges to freeze the affected addresses. Law enforcement is already involved. So I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine you're in college, okay? And you are thinking, well, I want to have like a career being a police officer or something like that. Sounds kind of cool. And then you discover NFTs. And then you're like, man, how about I get into a career of cyber detection for blockchain or that shit? Imagine how cool that would be, because I can imagine a lot of people that are in school right now that wanted to do a certain thing are, they're going to be some of the people that are familiar with it if they've gotten into the space. Maybe not, but still, Dorius, what's going on? Good morning. McLovin, it's your first time tuning in. Schiller is an absolute fish, but we love him. Rui! Pickle, what's going on, brother? I got to bring up your tweet later. Listen, I was thinking to bring up stuff later and then I never do, so remind me, but true. Big time fish. So basically, I woke up today, I retweeted this thing about how Ripple was hacked for 213 million XRP, which is over 100 million US dollars. And the funds have apparently been laundered through MXC, Gate, Binance, Kraken, yada, 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 yada. And crazy that Zach is like on this, and everybody was like, no, like this wasn't XRP that was hacked. This was one of the co-founders and Chris Larson, but Brad Garlinghouse going out and saying, given some irresponsible speculation and reporting. I mean, listen, imagine you're Zach, and he's like, okay, why is Brad calling me irresponsible and speculative when, like, one of the co-founders has 100 million worth of their token drained? I mean, like, listen, don't be throwing shade, okay? I want to reiterate that no Ripple managed wallets were compromised, full stop. And basically that's the big thing, right? Because there's all this FUD of like, oh, Ripple's not safe, yada, yada, yada. And this happens for anyone, right? Like, I mean, so the immediate argument we could say is for Star Atlas, where they had a whole bunch of funds within FTX and were affected. A lot of people thought, oh, did you have that Futureverse? All these collections had to go out and make announcements that they weren't affected by that at the time. But then when something like this happens, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't, technically somebody else's fault and FTX's. This was a personal thing. But again, apparently it's not the same. But I also saw in some replies that Zach was saying, oh, yeah, total separate entities, right? Huh? A little bit of a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So we'll see what comes of it. But still, quick little FUD to start your day. And again, guys, if you're tuning in, appreciate the hell out of you. Make sure to smash that like button. Jupiter, the Jupiter token dropped. Just stats for the Jupiter exchange, which if you don't know, this is on the Solana network. And a shit ton of meme coins have been getting talked about. We're going to highlight one in a little bit from Mr. Harry Swan and Kaz. Saw that on my timeline. But state of Jupiter, January 2024. It's the most used trading platform in the entirety of DeFi. Direct 80% of organic volume. What the hell does organic volume mean? I guess wash trade. I don't know how the hell you tell the difference. Most used program on Solana, top 2 by volume on CoinGecko. Most integrated platform on Solana, and one of the top perp platforms, 1.4 billion volume last week. So listen, we got the funds rolling. And so the other thing, which I mentioned at the beginning of this month, is think of all the activations, the airdrops, et cetera, that are happening. There's going to be a ton of liquidity within the Web3 space. A lot of it is kind of within the Solana meme coin ecosystem. Just that's what I'm seeing all over my timeline. It's crazy. I see that more than anything about any kind of particular NFTs. And from the NFTs I do follow, it feels like the sales are almost at like maybe like 4 a day for like half of these collections. So I think there is an opportunity here for some of these big builders within Web3 as a whole. I'm not talking specifically on ETH, say Solana, what the hell ever chain. Just anybody that does something that's cool. Hell, NBA Top Shot could come roaring back if they have something magnificent here. But the liquidity is there for the taking. So we'll see what team goes out and impresses. POAP. If you do spaces, know anybody that does spaces, this might be relevant or interesting. I didn't even realize this was a thing, to be honest. Minting digital collectibles got even more fun. They must not have bought anything, if you know what I mean, because I got wrecked. Introducing POAP Fun, a POAP-powered raffle platform for all of your raffling needs. We've been orchestrating raffles on Twitter Spaces with your favorite digital communities, including most recently Chimpers. So I guess there's this thing with POAP where if you're wanting to do raffles for POAPs, they have like a system for that, which is cool because if you've ever tried to do like a giveaway on Twitter and you try to like look up free Twitter giveaway bots, you have to pay for it. Some of them work, some of them don't. You have to give access. It's a little weird, but cool that POAP is offering something for that. Right before the stream, Doodles made an announcement. Is it a fish move? Very potentially, but in fact, it is an alien. Something is coming. Doodles X G-Shock US collab dropping soon. I'm guessing that's a watch. It's a watch. So we fudded Valhalla for launching a keyboard. Is anybody going to FUD Doodles for launching a collab with a watch? What's Doodles launched? Digital collectibles. You can add your Doodles. Not ripping it. I'm simply saying it's funny that we're like, oh, for Valhalla, we hate it. And then for Doodles, be like, you're collabing with the brand. That's neat. We'll see if that's like specific to holders, because I feel like for a lot of these Doodle things, it's kind of open to the public. Remember when they did Doodle Crocs? Everybody was fudding the hell out of it. Dude, I don't mind Crocs. Hands up if you got a pair of Crocs at home. Don't be lying. I mean, this is the internet. You're all behind fake names anyway. Pickle, I know that's you're not McLovin. I sure as shit know that's not your name. You guys are crazy, bro. But the point being is that for Doodles, they have gotten funded for some different things and other collections. I just think it's funny, the perception of different collections as we're moving forward. So big news, as I highlighted the other day, where FaZe Clan, their stock went nuts because it was an announcement with a betting platform. In this case, it's Rollbit. So to go over that announcement, we are extremely excited to announce that Rollbit has partnered with FaZe Esports and will become the official Counter-Strike gaming partner. We look forward to working and cheering with them during the upcoming season. Okay, so have you guys ever looked at Rollbit? Personally, I've not. However, I've seen a bunch of people showing their links, and you can bet on things, I'm pretty sure, but this is like my first experience clicking on the site. Okay. So they have different live wins. They have the Roll Bitcoin, the FaZe thing, the 100x futures. Yo, they have the dual arena with RuneScape branding. Okay, dude, listen, that's a lawsuit right there. In different games. But they have a CryptoPunk that's in a loot boxes. It's open for 67. What the hell is that? Please be mindful that there is no guarantee that if you win this NFT, we will be able to purchase it on your behalf. What? In case we fail to acquire the NFT, you'll be able to claim a cash reward amounting to the NFT's value. What does that even what does that even mean, dude? Okay, sure. I acknowledge. What does this mean? Oh, okay. So we pay and then we get a spin. We might get $50. We might get Rollbit token, or we might get a $600,000 NFT. Oh, gambling's a fun thing, eh? And speaking of which, King James, Mr. LeBron, announces that he is officially joining DraftKings. Per release, LeBron will help support key football initiatives and tentpole events through content creation, such as weekly football picks and more. The entire world is going this realm of like gambling, and I follow Zuma, who covers the Call of Duty League, and it's weird because, like, at first I was, like, kind of annoyed because he does this thing with prize picks, and it's like you pick who you think's going to do better in a match, who's going to do worse, and it's, like, just this constant bringing up of it, and it's like, man, like, everything that I enjoy is getting impacted by gambling. But, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got to make a bag. Okay. Probably the most brutal set of defaults I've seen. Borrower took out 98 ETH loan on these a month ago and failed to repay yesterday. Basically got liquidated for 180 ETH worth of NFTs on a 1 month 98 ETH loan. Okay, so first of all, I think Pudgies went like super high like the past month, so I don't like the value of the Pudgy, right? I think is it is way higher than whatever it was originally taken out at. For some of the apes, depending, I mean, that one sure looks a little rare. For this one, that one's not really going to go that much above floor. The CryptoPunk again, the 3D glasses, it's kind of cool. We can argue about the traits, yada yada yada, but the thing that I feel like I remember happening, I don't ever mess with this, and I'm not like a tax expert, but I thought I read somewhere that somebody said, well, instead of selling something, just get like liquidated or take out a loan, and then you'll have lesser of a tax obligation. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how that works, because I wonder if that's something along those lines, or if it's still like the same implications and this person just didn't pay it back. But I feel like the 180 worth is like the assumption that you could get significantly higher than the floor. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not broken down the math in my head, but I think it's like what, 25, so that's 50. Pudgy's at like 70, CryptoPunk's there. So it's like, I mean, I feel like it's closer to like what they originally got the loan of, besides the Pudgy going to like 20, right? So, but I mean, still, it's a good narrative nonetheless. LeBron is joining DraftKings. Schiller, we are effing back. Empty the kitchen sink right now. I do need to do the dishes. Truly. Shout out to Harry Swan here. Says, I volunteer as tribute, not Hunger Games. GG.zip is a Solana Hunger Game. So we talked yesterday about how everybody's shilling referral links. The other way that's, I guess, a little bit lesser notice from that, or more depending, is these claims, right? When we had the frame airdrop, when we had the blur airdrop, they force you to tweet about these things. And so I saw that on my timeline and was like, what in the hell? So it's 111 followers. I think this is a meme coin or shit coin of some part, but maybe not. Solana Hunger Games, enter code to claim airdrop. What's this about? GG is the world's first AR crypto game where users race to win soul. Find and collect G boxes in your city or bet on your friends online. Everyone has a chance to win the jackpot. So is this like Pokemon Go 2.0? Maybe. But if you wanted to highlight that for a quick second, shout out Harry if you are watching this. So we saw a massive sale the other day for an Axie land. And here we go. Here's another one. Founder of Axie saying this actually just sold for 105 ETH, almost $250,000. King Durandal has a new owner. Congrats, IR Freak. It's one of 3 Agamogenesis Axies. So one of 3 Axies sold for $250,000. Amagogenesis Axies are genetically engineered Axies researched and developed by MEO Corporation. They feature never-before-seen body parts called bionic parts. They are extremely rare, with only 3 in known existence. They were originally sold in 2018 for 6 ETH each. I mean, that's a pretty nice come up then. Holy hell. Numbers like this were unimaginable back in 2018. Despite trials and setbacks, Axie continues to push forward. Kind of neat. I guess it's just like the one. So this is the thing that's interesting to me. And I could be wrong, but we have the arguments of the PFP aspect, right? And when you look at these, I feel like for a lot of the Axies, they somewhat look similar, right? Like if you really know the game, you can tell the difference. But if I'm going to show you like 20 different Axie NFTs like sectioned as PFPs, what's the difference? So for this, is it the provenance? Is it the aspect that when breeding them, there are specific parts to it? What's kind of the deal with it? And it's, it's about the narrative, I think, too. It's January 31st. What early 2024 means? Ha, ha, ha. What now? AMP claim coming early 2024. So this is at the beginning of December. Yuga Labs put this out. And the reason that I'm highlighting this right now is going back to what I said before with the Jupiter airdrop and all these other collections. Within Yuga itself, there was the heavy metal game. And the main point of that game was that you were trying to get on the top of the leaderboards to get these amps where you were able to like evolve your heavy metal, and people again were spending like thousands of dollars to get some of the top placements for that. And then they said that they are going to be acquired and tradable later on. So we're waiting for that to happen. They're saying spring 2024. But just to that narrative that there are a lot of drops and things coming for that. What happened to the African sweatshops of Axie players? Sheesh. I mean, so I think it was like mainly in Thailand, to be honest. But I mean, I knew people that had companies, or well, I guess companies or people that did it, and they had screenshots of the amount of food and stuff that they were able to get, and it was honestly it was a crazy opportunity for them. Obviously, with just the way the world economies are, and it's something to note where, you know, at that time everybody was saying, okay, like what kind of games are trying to build out those sustainable economies, yada yada yada, and it's weird that it's not been like talked about or highlighted as much, but it was definitely a thing at a point, still might be, but definitely not as much, yeah, till it wasn't. Speaking of Frame, it's January 31st. Was true. You're right. Okay, so maybe we get the Frame dropped. Oh no, those bastards. They reopened it. No, they reopened it. Nah, fam. That's crazy. So these people are just absolutely fantastic. Not. We've listened to the community and understood not everyone was able to properly access the claim. It was open for a month. What the hell do you mean they weren't able to properly access the claim? Does that mean that you had insiders that were supposed to be a part of it? The key one being Loopify, who invested in it, said that he forgot to claim it. Do they open it for one person? Are they trying to get it more decentralized? What the hell? We've reopened claims and we'll be pushing our mainnet launch in order to give users more time to claim. We'll be posting new dates for mainnet and the claim closure soon. So we got rinsed. It was never about the claim period in the first place. It's more about vesting and airdrop. This selfless act towards the community seems more like buying time for yourselves. You could have just said you're late. This is not what the community wants. We want to launch on Wednesday, period. Truly. Breaking: New York Community Bank falls 40% after earnings. This is the bank that acquired the collapsed Signature Bank. Bank crisis number 2. So I have to admit, I don't know shit about this. Like, I really don't. But reading the comments before we went live here, people were saying this happens somewhat often around this time. This is the bank that obviously, as mentioned, was due to the Signature Bank closing, which also was heavily restricted due to the forced government regulations around crypto and all this kind of stuff. So it brings that back up. And we have like the Jerome Powell FOMC meeting happening right now. So maybe we see markets take a little bit of an interesting turn. So the other news coming out today, FTX expects to repay its crypto customers in full. Huh? Now, when we look at this, you think, okay, this is an interesting headline, but Crypto T here brought the tea. Yeah, but it's at the price it was when they went bankrupt, the absolute bottom. So they're saying the FTX plans to pay back its customers, but it's going to be when Bitcoin was at 16K, Ethereum was at 1.2K, and Solana was at $16. How exactly that works, I'm not sure. I guess maybe they look at it from like the dollar value, not necessarily like the quantity. I don't know. But still, either way, I guess that's good, because otherwise, yes, people wouldn't get anything, right? Now, speaking of Jupiter that we mentioned earlier, 24-hour DEX volume breaks 1 billion, which is higher than Uniswap. So obviously we know that there's not as much meme coin and shitcoin trading happening on Ethereum, but still Jupiter on this first day here with the airdrop, it is a zooming. So Beanie highlighting this, I feel like a couple other people highlighted it too, about back in the day when we had big players like Meta, Pepsi, Budweiser bought beer.eth. All these major brands were suddenly into Web3. If you remember the craze, and then they launched these microphones that had the Pepsi logo on it, and there was like really nothing for it. And it just, it reminds me of the times that were. And when you think of, wow, like what was it like in the peak of the 2021 bull run? And you have literally Pepsi, Budweiser, and all these people working together, buying ES names, launching collections. There you go. Yesterday, we said narratives. We talked about one of the first PFPs the day before from Tor. And then there was another one about, oh shit, I forget what it was. Oh, it was on the first NFT on Say, I think, right? Or the first PFP on Say. And so here we have CyberCong as the full collection, kind of doubling down on that narrative, the first and most important PFP project on the chain. So this comes with a little bit of a caveat. So if you missed the stream yesterday, I made the argument that if you look at the first ever ETH NFT, if you look at the first ever Solana NFT, like nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay. And the difference, though, is that when you look at those collections that were first, they didn't build anything that people cared enough about to continue to follow. Okay. So with that notion about narrative and whatnot, I think that you can make the argument that if it's about a brand or something that has stayed relevant, that has something more to it than just saying we're the first on something, right? Like they've actually built these other things that's continuing to go on and people care about it, then that changes. But for a lot of the things on Solana, ETH, yada, yada, that were first, they just haven't really done anything. So again, be careful when you're looking at the narratives on this, but you know, I'm slightly opening up to the idea in terms of depending on what they continue to do here. Budweiser still does pretty good in their Discord. It was dead during the Bud Light issue, though. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Art Blocks announces it has acquired collector platform and secondary marketplace Sansa. Not Stark, Sansa. The marketplace designed for digital art featuring art blocks, GM Studio, Bright Moments, Brain Drops, and more. I've never seen of this. I don't really participate in generative art too much here. I guess for the announcement, let's look at this super quick. Sansa has made remarkable strides in the digital art market. Their dedication to providing platform for artists to showcase their work in a safe and creator-supportive environment echoes our own commitments to blending the worlds of art and technology. Okay, so what makes the deal special, or what makes Sansa special? Simplified discovery of artworks. Artists gain wider visibility for their work. Collectors have easier access to the diverse ranges of art. Creator royalties earned with every sale. Exclusive focus on digital collections. And okay, cool. So I guess this is like another platform that helps push generative art forward. The price of banana. Banana. What is it? Is it awful? Is it bad? Oh my goodness. Another thread here from Zach. We've talked about it a few times. I don't know if we're ever going to stop doing it because I think it's one of like the unwritten rules that if you make content in the space, you got to try to help people before they get fished. You know what I mean? No pun intended. It's 2024 and we are still seeing far too many teams getting sim swapped or fished on a regular basis, resulting in millions sold. And so the idea is that he highlights within here that when you sign up for X Premium, Twitter Premium, you have to enter a phone number. Now, after you verify that phone number, you are able to remove it from your account. You need to do that because the sim swaps are happening rather frequently with that. Linking a phone number for two-factor authentication is simply not acceptable. X allows people to add security keys or an authenticator app instead. I usually tell people to buy Yubico security keys, as I have seen instances where people accidentally back their authenticator app to the cloud. Buy directly from the website, not a reseller. So again, this is a thing. Same with the ledger. Be careful where you're buying it from, but just remove your friggin' phone number, guys. Holy sugar shit. Funny how Valhalla and Ether made fun of KPR in 2022, but today we're the only relevant one still active. So if you missed it, newer to the space, you've been around for a while, you've probably seen it. There was a point where there was like an anime collection that launched like all within kind of the same cluster. So we have this KPR, we have Valhalla, and Ether. They all have the same vibes. I don't know Izuki, Izuki happened way before that, but they might have had their elementals drop pretty close to it. But I mean, this the craze around anime and people thinking, hey, this is going to be big. And there's still a very good chance that that is going to happen. But at the same time, it turned into this huge tribalism thing of everybody just beating the piss out of each other, right? And it's like, okay, dude, listen, we're in digital collectibles, okay? I see the NFL, right? And you see the things on your timeline of people getting drunk and beating the tar out of each other in the stands. We're behind keyboards. What the hell are we yapping about? We're proud to announce that Pixelmon will become part of the Mocha fam. Pixelmon, every announcement, every friggin' day. Play Ember yesterday, Mocha fam today. I don't exactly know like what this means. Like, and it goes back to my point again yesterday is like, are these collaborations something that is for something beyond mutual exposure? Because like, okay, if I have Mocaverse, okay, cool. Something is going on with Pixelmon. Are we going to have this interoperable world where if I have like a Pixelmon character, can I go and be in the Mocaverse now, and vice versa? Goes back to the argument of the open chain future, dynamic, omni-chain, what the hell ever. Okay, I see these all the time. It's engagement farming. It worked. Think of at the end of the day, if you want to hold ETH, do you do it though? One of two venues. Would you rather buy crypto punks or pudgy penguins? Pudges have more upside probably, but punks will always be the OG high-end collectibles. Pick your poison. This way, even if ETH underperforms, you likely earn some ETH. So I want you to close your eyes for a second, right? And I want to take you back to a month ago when pudgies were at like, I don't know, 5 ETH. Maybe it was higher. Just work with it. And now they're at 20. And so this argument can kind of be made that they're close. But literally a month ago, they were not even like half the price that they were. So I think that it's funny that, you know, something like the space as a whole moves so fast. We're still kind of like, okay, was it blur farmers and the lending that moved it up? Is there actually that much organic demand within the space overall? Do people believe in the pudgy vision? We're like, we don't know, right? You know, I mean, some people believe it, some people don't. But either way, right now, I feel like most people would argue that punks are the safer bet. But it's crazy the conversations that we have a month later after the price goes up. Okay, Play Helix. Do you guys remember this? So this was a Web3 game that was announced. They sold some stuff and they were like, this is going to be like the high fidelity Grand Theft Auto of Web3 in the metaverse. And I haven't seen it on my timeline, except I've been going through like who I follow recently, being like, okay, do they just show meme coins? Do they have any kind of value? Unfollowing the people that don't. But I saw somebody that highlighted Play Helix and I was like, damn, like I remember that. So dream, create, play. Endless possibilities. Hop between FPS games, ARP servers, ARP role-playing servers, MMORPGs, simulators, social hubs, art projects, tech demos, and anything else you can possibly imagine. So this is, the site died on me. Okay, well, I guess listen, it's over. It's over. The site doesn't even work. But I remember Helix wondering if you guys do too. Yo, Kiwiana, what's going on? How are you? Hope you're well. Holy shit, we haven't talked for a minute. I hope everything went smooth with you. Now, speaking a little bit of smooth, if you are watching on another screen right now, I implore you to switch over back to where we are. Somebody found the greatest clip on the internet if you are into Web3. It's Gary Vee talking about wine with Kevin Rose.
Crisp, clean, grassy, grapefruity, a little cat pee in there once in a while. But you know, I know you don't mind that.
That just scares the hell out of me, though.
Don't
how can you tell people like, you might get a little cat piss taste? Like,
that's all right. I mean, you've got to get every flavor all up in your grill piece, right?
What did we just watch? I don't know where the hell Robin Dubs found this, but that is like easily takes the cake for the craziest clip I've seen on my X feed. Do you guys remember Rec League? So Yuga partnered up with I forget who the heck it is. Enway Play for this Rec League. Everybody went out, they bought a whole bunch of these assets, and then it felt like the hype for it kind of died down like rather significantly, but it's still something that's in the space. And there was another component of, you know, them trying to do this mass adoption where if you get these parts, then people are going to be able to sell it to the free-to-play users and whatnot. Only just highlighting this just because we might see it back up on the timeline, because I saw it on mine. It's always good to kind of have these touching points and whatnot. But yeah, Rec League. What in the heck happened? Why is this not all over my feed again? Huh. Yeah, it was Gary like 20 years ago with Kevin Rose. And then, so I meant to put this back to back, but Gary with his interesting tweets last night saying, have the best night of sleep. What a positive way of encouragement. And Boshi here, if you are going to ever consider moving over to Say, you'll want one of these in your wallet. Only 2K supply. They are building DeFi on Say, think Jupiter in 2021. This is set and forget it for 2 years and let them cook kind of thing. Excuse me, the McRib. So here's the argument for you, right? I think it is really cool, and like I'm highlighting it, I followed it. Yeah. Okay, cool. And again, I'm like starting to look at the Say ecosystem. I can't say that I'm like getting in heavily or anything like that. Obviously still like all in on Root and Futureverse. But with this, it's like, okay, so we're going to set it and forget it for 2 years, right? Like that's the notion. I mean, how fast do these things iterate? For say, is it something that we still don't have enough movement or advancement across Ethereum, Solana, the 105 other L2s that are out there for this to still be relevant? Is there going to be enough of a cluster of the people within the Say ecosystem right now where it's just going to continue to grow? Does the omni-chain future kind of disrupt things where, let's just say there's a big player, like let's say Jupiter Exchange, and they launch something on Say and they help take over kind of the liquidity provision, yada, 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 yada. And it's that, like we're at a really weird point right now where the narratives are running hot and it's cool, but the way the technology advances, I'm curious what exactly it looks like. But with that said, that's going to do it for this edition of XFeed. Usually when we do these earlier shows, there's some other massive announcements that happen a little bit later, but I have to do more basketball and volleyball commentary tonight, which I don't play either sport, so why are they having me do it? I don't know, but it's fun, you know. It's something that's kind of fun for me. So with that said, if you guys want to drop a like or comment on the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if you share it with one friend, I love you even more. We are really getting up there on subscribers. Let me just bring up the YouTube account so I can show you guys what it looks like on my side here. And my we're going down to analytics. We're clicking on the subscribers. I don't know how to get, oh, there we go. Click this bigger. Wow, that doesn't even show right. This is a pain in the ass. Yeah, so we're up 194 subscribers in the past 28 days. We're mooning, brother. But anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. We'll chat soon. Peace, peace.